What is up, my britches? If you are new here, hello, my name is Brittany, and I'm coming at you very last minute because I gotta go to work in about an hour. So I got super excited today because you guys saw in a couple videos ago, I did a luxury makeup haul. I featured Dior, Chanel, oh my god, who else? Cleona. There was one other brand. You saw it already. But today I got a very exciting product because I ordered this. I've never ordered stuff through like a personal shop or anything like that, but the Dior Skin Mineral Nude Glow in the shade Blooming Garden. I saw pictures of this and I'm like, I need to have it. It looks so beautiful. We're gonna get into it, but I also have more products from the spring collection. So I have the Quint, I'm gonna butcher this name. The Quint in the shade Pink Sakura, or Sakura is what I see it as if you look online. But on the packaging, it does say Pink Sakura. And then I also have the Pink Sakura lipstick as well. I was wearing both of these in that haul video, but I wanted to show you guys me using them today. But the big focus for today is going to be this Dior Skin Mineral Nude Glow because I'm such a fan of Dior products. Like, I'm very much Dior with the complexion. I'm wearing the Air Flash. I'm wearing the Dior concealer. I have all the stuff that's on my face currently linked in the description box. And I also have these products linked down below as well. So before I get into trying these on, I want to show you guys because some people are probably like, bitch, how do you have this already? So there's two Instagram accounts that I follow and they're very luxury makeup focused. And the first one is Chic Profile Official. I mention Tavia's account in almost like all of the will I buy it type videos or my yes or yawns. I always mention her account. But she posted that this product, oh, don't wash it out. She posted that this product was available and you could DM this other account to order it. So the account that I'm talking about is Fude Japan. And this was the picture that I had seen that this was apparently available now. So Fude Japan is how I was able to pick this up. It was definitely more expensive to order it this way, but I wanted to get it early because this isn't available in the US yet. Wanted to give you guys my opinions on it, and I'll get into it as I get there. So make sure you guys check out Fude Japan and Chic Profile Official. I have both of their Instagram accounts linked down below. And let's dive in to using, because some people were saying they wanted to see me use the Sakura Quint. I see you guys all in the live chat. What's good? What's poppin', my britches? Happy Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Happy hump day. I'm a mess. I'm on overnight, so throw me a bone. So the Sakura eyeshadow palette, it's really, really pretty. This is what it looks like. Again, I was using this or wearing this in my haul video. This was just a color story that spoke to me, and I hear so many amazing things about the Dior Quints. Since I've had really great luck with Dior products, like their highlighters, their blushes, their foundation, concealer, like I love so many products from Dior, I was like, you know what? I need to try one of these Quints because people won't shut the fuck up about them. They just won't. I feel like everybody's always talking about them. And I did give my first impressions in my haul video, but I just really wanted to show you guys me using them, how they apply and all that sort of stuff. So I just have my brushes right next to me. I'm like, what brushes do I want to use today? I'm going to first start with a got to have item that I got to have. That's how I feel. I'm going to first start with, actually, let me show you guys swatches first. So I'm just going to swatch 1, 2, 3. Every time I touch the middle shade, I'm like, I don't want to mess with the embossing because it looks so pretty. So when you swatch these, like, these would normally not necessarily be up my alley. It's like a very sheer, more mature type of vibe with these Quints. But I was much more impressed with the quality on my eyes opposed to when I swatched them. So just so you guys have a visual, like this, it looks very light. You know, like normally if I were to see this and swatch it in store, I'd be like, there's no fucking way I'm paying that much for that, you know? But as I put it on my eyes, it does give a much more like flattering type of vibe. And that's where I've really found, since I do have a lot of texture on my skin, I have hooded eyes, I have just a lot of shit going on my face. I usually like the way, I don't know, maybe it's like a coincidence, but it seems like luxury stuff always, or almost always, because there are some missed products with luxury, it seems like more times than not, I'm happier with how everything looks, because usually I feel like luxury is more focused towards a more mature audience, whereas since I have textured skin, I feel like those products really appeal to me just because they're not going to accentuate those textures, if that makes sense. So, oh, I see you guys are saying quads are 62, but Pink Sakura is 63. I'm not exactly sure what the price difference is all about. I would assume because it's limited, but that still doesn't make sense. That is very weird. So just for the information that's on the back, it's going to have 7 grams net weight, or 0.24 ounces. It's made in France, 6 months shelf life, which is wowza. That's pretty much all the information that it says on the back. And then as far as the box goes, the box is going to have all your ingredients, which for me, I'm just like, I don't give a shit about the ingredients. I'm just not that type of person. So let me dive right into trying this palette out for you guys. So in my last video, I used 1, 2, 3, 4. I used those shades. So this was the only shade that I didn't use in my last one. What I'm envisioning today, it does come with these little brushes and stuff too, but I usually don't use those. I want to use the deepest shade all over my lid and almost do like a blown out burgundy type of look. That's what I'm envisioning. We'll see if that actually happens for me though, because sometimes things don't come out the way that I'm expecting them to. I have seen other people have reviewed these products as well. So feel free, search around, because I know these products are definitely more expensive. I'm just going to go right in. I do have the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base. Whenever I'm doing products like all over my lid, I usually just go in and apply them, whether it's a matte, whether it's a satin. If I'm doing especially like a smoky type of look, I'll usually just put it down. See how much more intense it looks versus, I mean, that shade doesn't swatch too bad, but when I applied this to my eyes, I feel like it applied so much nicer than how it swatches. And ultimately, that is what matters to me. Like swatches, you know, they're fun. They're cool to do. We have a good time doing swatch parties on my channel. But that doesn't necessarily always tell me everything about a product. You know what I mean? So let me take my Esum, my W23. I just like this brush because it is, I don't know, it's like more pointed, but it's not completely pointed. I like using this for when I want to get on that inner corner. I did just get a little bit of fallout on my inner corner. But this shade for me, for like a burgundy tone, because burgundies or purples, I would say this is like a burgundy plum. These types of shades can be very tricky as far as formula goes. Like normally I have a hard time finding purples that aren't patchy, or I'll apply it and it just won't stick to certain places on my eye. I've had that quite a few times. When I used this in my last video, I didn't experience that at all. So I just wanted to lay down the burgundy shade first, and then I'm just gonna go with something super simple today. Hi Mo! Swatches are a great way to just get an idea of what to expect. I completely agree with that. I want to take, what brush do I want to use? I'm going to take my Sonia G, my Worker Pro. I just want to get the edges just a little bit more blended. So I like to just basically lay down the color and then I build up from there. Just because, like I said, I do have hooded eyes. And I don't want to take it up too far initially, but I also want to see just how this kind of manipulates as I'm using this shade in specific with just different brushes. What did you guys think of this quint? Was it a color story that really spoke to you? Like as soon as I saw it, I'm like, if I'm going to get any quint, that's the one that I need to get. So I am noticing, like, I do have to keep going over certain areas, but for how fast and how deep that applied with my finger, this is like normal. You know, this is a normal type of process for me when I'm doing a type of look like this. I want a more precise brush. I'm like looking. I really need to figure out a different sort of storage for my makeup in general, but my brushes are just a mess. The, what is it? The Refer number 13. I want to take this shade right here, because normally I would not use satins in my crease, but I do find, even with like Charlotte Tilbury, I find that I'm much more inclined to use satins in the crease. Like, I was not expecting, like, can you guys see that right there? I was not expecting this to pull as purple because of how sheer it looks, but it almost like transforms that matte. I'm going to call it a plum because that's what it looks like to me. It looks like a plummy type of shade. So for a look like this, for me, it takes a lot of building. It's like, okay, do this step and then go back and kind of finesse things a little bit more. This is like a normal process for me. Love a swatch party, same. Especially if the color comes off differently in the pan. That's one thing that drives me fucking crazy. I hate when shadows do that. I do feel like these come off like more intense than they actually look in the pan, which I'm not necessarily mad about that, just because I want to have more pigmentation than not. Like this shade for me, I think would be a beautiful type of like inner corner pop of highlight. That's way more like poppy on my eyes than I was expecting it. Did I tell you guys the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base is on my eyes right now? I think I forgot to say that. So since I have that purple laid down, I'm going to go back in with my rougher number 1. And this is where I play the game of, okay, let's finesse things a little bit more. Let's just blend these together a little bit better. And then we kind of see what happens. You know, sometimes the eye looks, they don't work out perfectly the first time around. I haven't done any other looks besides the first one. Like when I first used this quint, I was so impressed with the quality of it. But, I mean, for a $62 price point, I'm definitely going to be more critical about it. So I'm just trying to take little amounts at a time. I am finding though, like since I have this on a much bigger area than instead of having it just like on the outer corner, it is showing patchiness. Like as I'm going over it with brushes and trying to like blend it and finesse it, it's not nearly as flawless looking as it was when I used it the last time. But I feel like the look that I did in my haul, that would be how I would typically use a palette like this. Like when I look at this palette, I'm like, I'm trying to be like outside of my comfort zone a little bit because you guys always see me do like the same type of looks all the time. I always do like the lighter inner corner, blend it to a darker. It's just the most flattering on me. I'm going to go back in with the rougher 13 just because I do feel like I'm losing certain aspects of that deep plum. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look like $62 amazing. You know what I mean? So I don't really want to keep messing with this too much because I feel like if I keep messing with it, it's gonna be bad. So for me, just judging off of how everything's working right now, for such an expensive palette, I would not do a look like this. I would do basically like the look that I did in my last video. That would pretty much be like where I lived with this palette. I want something a little bit more on the crease because it's super pretty, but it's not quite giving me like a super blended type of look. This is where when I judge eyeshadows, I love like my Makeup Geek shadows. That's one thing that I always try to make very apparent, like when I'm talking about eyeshadows. It's like, it's the overall user friendliness of everything. Like this one I feel like is pretty, I'm using the center shade here. I feel like it's pretty easy to use, but I don't know how much I would reach for it. Whereas like with my Makeup Geek, it's like I just apply it and it does the work for me. I feel like this one I have to just work with it just quite a bit more. Oh, Sky's Beauty, thank you so much. Super chat. She says, hello, Britches. How do you guys like this time? I had to go a little bit later just because I wasn't expecting to get this so fast. Because I ordered this, I think, on Friday. And it came from Japan and it was already here. So, like, I think this looks pretty. Is it unlike anything else? Like any other look that I've ever gotten in my collection? No. It's like a purple basic ass type of palette. It's nice, but would I say I would run out and buy this again? I don't think I would, honestly. Like, I'm getting the vibe from... At least I'm judging it by how I feel about this palette. I feel like these quints are very overhyped. If you have quints and you feel differently though, like let me know like what your favorite quints are, or just like your favorite thing about the quints, because everybody's preferences are always different. That's one thing to always be mindful of when you're watching reviews and stuff. Like I don't mind this, but it just all comes down to, is it worth the price? For me and the whole experience, I'm like, I'm glad I own it, but I would not say I would buy it again, I don't think. I think I'm pretty limited as far as like the type of looks that I would be inclined to do. Just because like these two shades, I'll be using it more, don't get me wrong. I feel like it has a good variety in here, but you're going to have one matte and basically like 4 satins. So that's one thing, if you know going into it like you don't like satin formulas, this may not be for you. When I did my last look, I put this satin in the crease and it looked beautiful. So I don't know, like it's nice, but I don't think it's anything to like lose your shit about, you know, not like other palettes that I've had. Like I would get other palettes and be like, oh my God, this is incredible. I'm not necessarily getting that vibe from something like this. Dogs barking as per usual. I'm just adding a little bit of this shade here just because I want to blend it a little bit more. But I did really like, I think I'm going to put that purple shade, like the light purple. I want to pop that on the inner corner because I really did like how that looked. Let me take my Refer number 23. Because like this shade, if you guys didn't see my haul, this shade is very chalky. This is almost like a topper. But, oh my God, Ozzy's bark is so annoying. It doesn't really have much to it. That's my least favorite shade in the palette. I'm taking this purple shade here. And I want to see how much this will give me in my inner corner. Like, that's got a little bit of pop to it. I feel like that would be a really pretty highlighter for my face, too. If I wanted something with, like, a slight purple sheen to it. It's pretty. It's definitely more of, like, a daytime appropriate type of palette, I think. Like when I hate saying that because you could wear anything you want at any time of the day. When I say that, I'm like, this is like a palette like people could wear to work type of thing. You know what I mean? I don't want people to overanalyze like what I'm saying. Like, oh, you can only wear certain things. No, get the fuck out of here. It's one of those things though. I think if this is like a color story that speaks to you, like maybe you'd be into it. But then again, it's $63. So that's my overall thoughts on that. Like, I think this looks pretty. I'm noticing some funkiness happening over here. Like, you see how it looks a little bit patchy? I do feel like this worked better with how I used it the last time. So that would be more of how I would be inclined to keep using it. It's just, you know, throw the deepest shade on the outer corner and call it a day. But these don't give me like that super like blended type of look either. I feel like I really have to work with these to get a really blended look. It's not bad, but like I'm even nervous to throw like a fluffy brush over this right now because I don't want it to get patchy anywhere. Like that's one thing that's a really big drawback for me. So I'm just going to leave it how it is. You get the point. Right? You get the point. So let me know your guys' thoughts on the quint. For me, I'm just like, I think they're slightly overhyped. That's just me in my own opinion. Because I feel like, especially after the last ones launched, so many people were talking about them. And I'm like, all right, let's try these things. Update on the Maybelline. Why I didn't notice that this was waterproof is beyond me. I think this is fine, but I'm not going to use it because that waterproof mascara is such a pain in the ass to get off. Holy shit. Let's see. Tracy. Let's see. Kat says corp. Yeah, like, I think you get it. I'm trying not to offend people at the same time. You know, like, when I say, like, mature and stuff like that, like, some people could take it a certain way, and I'm like, okay, that's not what I'm trying to say, but I think you guys get it. Let's see. And I also love the ease of use of them. The colors are pretty put together. Oh, Pamela said, I love the quints and quads. I feel like I use them more than a big palette. In a big palette, I don't use every shade. See, I like having the options. Like, I definitely prefer, like, 9 pans or 12 pans. I poked myself in the eye so hard, you probably didn't even notice it. But if you notice my eyes are watering, that's why. I like having the options. And I think that bigger palettes, it's more of like, it's easier to justify the price. You know what I mean? Like, I agree though. I just saw that Pamela said this look is so different from my other video. Exactly. It's like, I just wanted to show that it has like, you can get more than just like a basic ass look that I always do. Like this is, I feel like out of my comfort zone, just, I mean, slightly. I've done looks like this before, but it just took a little bit more work to get there. But overall, I think it still looks cute. Like it's not bad, but it's not anything to lose your damn minds over. Let me do really quick the Rouge Dior lipstick in the shade Pink Sakura. I was so shocked at how much I liked this formula. Let me just give you guys a little hand swatch. It's gonna have a satin finish. I don't have lip liner on or anything, but I wanted to slap this on. Oh my god, my house is creaking. This has such a beautiful sheen to it. Oh my gosh. See how just juicy my lips look? It glides on so effortlessly. I'm trying to think of a formula. It kind of reminds me of like a not so soft version of Propa Beauty. It's very comfortable, very hydrating feeling. The color on this is beautiful. Like this lipstick, I think it's $38. I think these lipsticks are worth the price. I think the formula is beautiful. I really, 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 really like this shade. Let's move on to what I feel like the star of the show is probably going to be, because I don't think I've seen any videos on this yet. So this is Dior Skin Mineral Nude Glow in the shade Blooming Garden. I want to say this right off the get-go. I don't think that this is going to be a highlighter. Like when people saw this, I think everybody, myself included, I think everybody thought that this was going to be a highlighter. Let me give you guys a little zoom so you can see actually what the embossing looks like. Like the embossing looks beautiful. I'm trying to give you guys, it's got like a, it looks more pink. It looks more pink in real life. It's giving you a more of like a really light pastel pink, but I would say this is like a baby pink in real life. I'm going to try it as a face highlighter, even though I don't think that that's what it's going to be. But when people saw this, I feel like, I really wish you could, hold on. Let me hold it further back. I feel like that's what it looks like in real life. See how deceiving the internet can be, guys? I love the lipstick. I see you guys are all commenting on the lipstick. Let me take, my current favorite is the Scott Barnes. This is from the Travel highlighter. This is the one I've been using the most. So just some tea on this product here. It's the Dior Skin Mineral Nude Glow. 12 months shelf life. You get 10 grams of products or 10 grams of product, or it's 0.35 ounces, made in France. Love that. But this is a brightening and correcting powder. Okay? I thought this was going to be something like the highlighters. Because I don't think we even saw the name of it, but I'm like, you know what? I want it. I'm going to try it as a highlighter for you guys now. I don't even want to touch it because it looks so pretty. But let's see how it works as a highlight. Like, I think you could use this as a highlight, but it's very subtle, extremely subtle. It's like instantly regrets buying. I don't know. I just thought this was going to be something so much different. Let's try it on this side. I applied a little bit more to my brush this way. I think if you have textured skin, like, okay, this would probably be something you were really into. Or if you wanted like a really subtle, because it does have that slight, like you could see, it's got a very, very subtle highlight to it. It's pretty. But I paid like $100 for this. I think if you're a Dior collector, like it definitely works. It's got a really pretty like baby pink tinge to it. Very, very, like, you see how I'm just gonna, like, I feel like you could not go overboard with this. Which for some people that would probably be really good. I'm trying to like dab around so I don't mess with the embossing that's on it, but I mean, it's pretty. But it's just subtle. It's not like the typical Dior highlighters that I think we're used to seeing. But I'm not mad. When I first applied it, I'm like, do I think this will be a highlighter that I reach for all the time? Probably not, because I do like a more blinding highlighter. But if I wanted something to look really youthful and doesn't accentuate texture, like that doesn't accentuate any texture on my face at all. I'm trying to get the component open. It has the typical like Dior packaging. I really don't love the fact that they changed the packaging so it's not like this all the way around. It's got like the plastic bottoms. I don't love that. I think this is gonna retail for like $60. I paid more just because I bought it so early and I bought it from Japan, but it kind of gives me the vibes of like Charlotte Tilbury, but maybe even more like flattering than those. So I think for some people, you'll probably really like this. I mean, I'll obviously keep it because I paid for it, but would I pay $100 for it again? No. But I also think that this is going to be a really pretty like collector's piece as well. Like I think it looks nice. You cannot take that away from it. But it's just going to be one of those things. Do you think it's worth that price point? You know? I'm just trying to get my face to like set down because I want to try using it as like an all over type of powder. You know, almost like the Hourglass, the Veil, or the Infinity translucent powder. I want to take like a fluffier brush. Let me take, I don't want to ruin the embossing. But since this is like, actually, you know what? Let me use my Wayne Goss airbrush. I want to try using this for like my under eye because it does have that slight pink tinge to it. Because since it's a brightening and corrector, let's see how it works. Because if this works as both, this is like the perfect brush for that. Did you guys notice anything right there? I think this almost be like, it's definitely brightening. I don't know if this would be a brightening powder for me though. Because it's got like a slight, you could definitely see that sheen to it. I'll keep using it too, don't get me wrong. This is like first impression territory for this one. It definitely brightens, but I don't know if this would be something that I would use for, I would use this more for like the highlighter. Let me do all these little, I'm trying not to like mess with the embossing at all. I like the fact that it's like such a thin type of powder. I'll be curious to use this more because sometimes I use products like this and I'm like, okay, I will never use this. But then I actually put that, like incorporate it, like, wow. Then I'll start to incorporate them into my routine. It's definitely brightening and it doesn't have, I think because it's so subtle, it works. So this could work as like a multi-purpose type of product. So if you want something that's going to brighten, but you could also use it as a highlighter that's going to give you a really just soft, very everyday type of highlight, you know? I really like it under the eyes. See, I'm at the point, I'm not really used to setting my under eyes anymore, like, because it's been quite a bit since I've been setting them. I think with this formula, though, because it's so thin, I would be inclined to use it for that purpose. I'll keep you guys posted. It was just different than I was expecting. I think that's why I'm a little bit underwhelmed because I was expecting it to be like their typical highlighters where they're super blinding and metallic and sparkly. This is not that type of vibe. It's like a very soft focus type of product. So I feel like especially if you have more mature skin or textured skin, this would probably be really appealing to you, I think. But I'll keep you guys posted the more that I use it. Overall, I mean, the more that it's sitting on my skin, I feel like my skin is looking even better. Like as I keep checking, I'm going to keep using it. That's where I'm going to leave it. Because this is, what is it? A pearly mineral infused brightening and correcting powder. I will say too, they put, since it's in Japan, they put like the Japanese stickers over it. I think that's cool, even though you guys know how I feel about stickers. I did rip off the sticker off the bottom of the packaging itself, and I'll probably just rip off this packaging too so I could actually, you know, read everything. I agree. Soft and sophisticated, and I feel like that really sums up Dior in general. I think that's what's so appealing to me. Like, their products are just very bougie. Like, I feel like they're very focused towards like a more mature audience. You know what I mean? And I think that's why Dior's products always appeal to me. I think that's why a lot of luxury stuff appeals to me. So overall, I think everything looks really pretty. The eyeshadow palette, I'm like, I think they're slightly overhyped. My favorite thing though is definitely the lipstick. I think this lipstick is beautiful if this color appeals to you. And then I think the Dior Skin Mineral Nude Glow, that comes in second. And then the Quint, I would say, is third out of the three, if I were to rank them currently. Oh, let's see. I have really textured skin and I love the product. I'd pay $60 for this. See, that's where I think it's going to be one of those things, like, you really just have to ask yourself, like, I'm very curious to see, because I'm going to put this in, like, use this every single day. I guarantee, because this is what happened with the Hourglass, the Infinity Powder. I first used it and I'm like, this is not worth it. And then I started using it over and over and over again, and I'm like, I can't do my makeup without it. So I feel like this will be one of those products because it's so, like, soft focus, and it almost gives you, like, slightly blurring, slightly illuminating, slightly brightening. It just kind of, it gives you that slight effect that it just takes it to another level. I'll keep you guys posted again. If I see that this comes available in the US, I will make sure to update the description box. I'll update my community page, all the things. So let's see what Dragon Tales is also saying. I think the textured skin, it can look really obvious that you're using a highlighter, even if it's not what you're going for. Completely agree. Like, there's so many. Let me know if you guys want a video on that, like the most skin flattering highlighters, because that's one thing that I always struggle with because I have so much texture back here. Like right now, compared to how textured my skin normally looks, like, I don't think you could really tell. And this has that, like, slight, like, pinky tone to it. It looks really, really beautiful. The look is beautiful. Thank you, Pamela. You look classy. I'll keep you guys posted the more that I use it, but I wanted to show you guys all the new products from Dior. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this. If you're excited to see it come, if this would be a product you'd be interested in. I'm always very curious to see what you guys think. Now it's time for me to go to work. So I hope you guys have a happy Wednesday. If today's even Wednesday, happy hump day, and I'll see you guys in my next one.